Galaxy Z Flip 4 was released on August 10, 2022. Before that, the Z Flip 3 was Samsung's best-selling foldable device and the best-selling foldable phone worldwide, period. The Z Flip 4 has some incremental upgrades over the Z Flip 3. These include a bigger battery, faster charging, better cameras, and even stronger protection, as well as a better chipset. Now, if you're like me and have never used a foldable device, or you have an older foldable phone, stay tuned to this review to find out if the Galaxy Z Flip 4 is the fold for you. I'm Stefan for 868 Tech TV, and this is my review of the Galaxy Z Flip 4.
This review is sponsored by PhoneAid. Check them out in Crown Point at the shopping complex behind Church's Chicken. PhoneAid specializes in smartphone and tablet repair, cracked screen, battery and charging problem, speaker, microphone, camera and button failure, water damage, software issue, and unlocking. Check them out on Facebook and Instagram at PhoneAidTT or email phoneaidtt@gmail.com. You can also call 302-5176 or 332-2111. As far as the design of the Z Flip 4 compared to the previous iteration, the Flip 3, Samsung didn't bother to venture too far from what worked. The Flip 4 is the same size as the Flip 3, coming in at 6.7 inches. There are some improvements in the protection department with Gorilla Glass Victus Plus in the back, stronger armor aluminum frame which now isn't glossy and thus doesn't attract a lot of fingerprints. There is an even sturdier and stronger hinge for those flipping actions. While testing it out, lots of people would ask me about the hinge, if it would last, and I must say it is a lot sturdier than you expect, and there is a lot of resistance to it. I've seen other YouTubers open this thing with one hand, and I'll say that's no easy feat with the amount of resistance applied to the hinge, which is really important for things like flex mode and such. The Z Flip 4 is also surprisingly light, coming in at 187 grams, which is just slightly heavier than last year's Flip 3. What I really enjoyed was the feel of the phone in my pocket. Its compact form factor could make you forget you even have a phone in your pants, which could be a good thing or bad thing at times. When fully open, the phone feels premium, and the slimmer form factor makes one-handed usage easier. With that said, it is a tall phone, so it will still be a bit of a stretch for those with smaller hands. At the top of the phone, you can find one mic. On the right, you have the volume rocker, which is just above your side-mounted fingerprint reader. On the bottom is a speaker, there's a USB Type-C port and two mics. Your SIM tray is the only thing on the left side. The top half of your Flip 4 houses all your cameras. On the back, you can find your dual 12-megapixel main and ultra-wide sensors, along with your flash and the 1.9-inch OLED cover screen. On the front, you have your 10-megapixel selfie shooter. Just above that is the other speaker grill built into the earpiece. The Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 4 boasts of IPX8 water resistance of up to 1.5 meters. Though I would warn you against deliberately testing out that feature. It isn't dust resistant, and you should definitely think about getting a case to protect your phone from getting dust particles in those hard to reach places. They've gone with a matte finish for this year's iteration over last year's glossy Z Flip 3. I think we can all appreciate that. It definitely makes the device less prone to fingerprints and smudges. Let's start with the 1.9-inch Super AMOLED cover display, which comes in a 260 by 512 pixels, and it is quite sharp for its size. There are several cover display clock options to choose from for any style or taste. Swiping left shows you your most recent notifications, and you can open them and there are quick replies that you can use for some, much like you do on your Galaxy Watch. Swiping down brings up your quick panels, which includes Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, sound control, airplane mode, flashlight, and your cover display brightness control. Swiping right takes you to your widgets, which you can set and arrange much easier via the cover display settings. You can set your always on cover display to stay on all the time, or tap to show, or set to wake whenever you receive a new notification, or you can have it set to both. Now, I'm not sure how bright the cover screen gets, but it's more than good enough to see clearly in bright sunlight. Now on to the 6.7-inch foldable dynamic AMOLED. This screen has a 120Hz display, which can dial down to 24Hz when you're not interacting with the screen to save in battery life. If you want to preserve your battery more, you can even dial it down to the standard 60Hz. If you're spending over $1,000 on a phone, why not just enjoy the full 120Hz experience? You have your usual vivid or natural mode to set colors as accurately as possible or to your personal liking. Viewing angles are great as expected. Watching content is as good as on any regular phone. What about the crease in the middle? I'll be honest, ever since I've unboxed this phone, I made it a point not to dwell on the obvious. Yes, there is a crease in the middle of the phone, but when you really get down to it, you rarely notice it. Mostly, if you're scrolling through a website, browsing your phone, or playing a game, you may feel it. But for those that think it will affect your actual user experience, I would say it most definitely does not. As with all premium Samsung devices, this phone gets pretty bright and is very good even in bright sunlight, so no need to worry about taking this outdoors. The Galaxy Z Flip 4 is running Samsung's latest One UI 4.1.1 on top of Android 12 straight out of the box. These are some of the first devices to get the Android 12L update, which is geared towards larger devices like foldables and tablets. This phone is flagship in every way, and the software experience definitely brings it home. I won't go into all the details of Samsung's One UI, as I'm sure you know exactly what to expect. Android 12 brings tons of customization and features, starting with a wide array of color palettes that let you change your overall theme and vibe of your phone, as well as dozens of widgets at your disposal. You have all your Samsung usuals, edge panels, edge lighting, Samsung decks, split screen and pop-up view modes, call and text on other devices, link to Windows, and dual apps, which lets you use a separate contact list. Android 12 also brings with it upgraded privacy settings, RAM Plus, and more. Navigating to Samsung Labs will allow you to enable one of the best features of the Z Flip 4, Flex Mode. In Flex Mode, there are several things you can do. You can browse the internet and use the top half of the display as your screen and the bottom half as your controls. You can use the bottom half control panel to take a screenshot, use it as a mouse using 2 fingers to scroll and navigate across websites and more. There are controls for volume, display brightness, and even play and pause when viewing content on streaming apps or playing music via Spotify, YouTube Music, etc. While watching videos on YouTube, you can scroll through and search for other videos while not disturbing the video you're currently watching. One point to note, while Flex Mode is not a brand new feature to Samsung's foldables, you're still limited in the number of apps that can take advantage of this feature. There are a few other novelty features that you can access via the cover screen, such as answering or declining calls. You can also answer or end calls by opening and closing your Z Flip 4. The Z Flip 4 is a powerhouse. It's a smooth and reliable flagship in every way possible. This device is powered by the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1, 8GB of RAM, and a base storage of 256GB. This device can handle anything you throw at it, from multitasking, using power-intensive apps, even video editing and gaming. For all you mobile gamers out there, you'll be happy playing your favorite titles such as Genshin Impact, Call of Duty, Asphalt 9, and more. My only gripe with the performance is that the phone does run hot under intense gameplay, though that doesn't seem to affect performance as I did not experience any thermal throttling. Like most flagship devices, the Z Flip 4 is equipped with stereo speakers, one button firing and another in the earpiece. They sound quite impressive while watching movies, gaming, and even listening to music. Audio quality is clear and crisp as you would expect, with a reasonable amount of bass. It's not out of this world, but it's more than passable and does an excellent job overall. You can also connect to the Bluetooth 5.2 on board if you want an even more immersive listening experience. Samsung's suite of security system is on board, with your Knox security system at your fingertips and your secure folder, which gives you full privacy and protection. You can unlock your Z Flip 4 by putting in your pattern or your PIN. You can use a somewhat reliable but not totally secure face unlock, which gets the job done more often than not, and a very reliable side-mounted fingerprint reader. One of the major drawbacks of having a flip phone is a smaller battery capacity. Because the phone is split in two, so is the battery, and there just isn't enough space for a huge 4500 mAh plus battery. With that said, the Z Flip 4 is 400 mAh bigger than the Z Flip 3, coming in at 3700 mAh. The charging speed also increased from 15 watts to 25 watts. What this means is that while there is some improvement in battery life, the question is, by how much? What I was able to get was around 5 hours of screen on time. Now, take into consideration that I'm always on my phone, which means I probably use it way too much. This should translate to roughly 6 to 6.5 hours for the average user. So in essence, you should be able to get through a full day on a single charge, but I would urge you to walk with your charger just in case. Speaking about charging, it is much faster, and I was able to get a full charge in just over an hour using the original 25-watt adapter courtesy channel sponsor Furine, so definitely go check them out for all your tech needs and repairs. Wireless charging is also on deck at 15 watts, and there is reverse power sharing at 4.5 watts. The Galaxy Z Flip 4 underwent a major upgrade in the camera department. Now on paper it might look exactly the same as on the Z Flip 3, but in this case, the devil is in the details. The Z Flip 4 has a triple camera setup, a 12 megapixel main camera with f1.8 aperture, a 12 megapixel ultra-wide camera, and the same 10 megapixel selfie camera from the previous generation. One of the main selling points of the Z Flip series is the ability to use the main cameras as a selfie camera while using the cover display as a viewfinder. In this view, you can do regular and portrait photos with the main and ultra-wide, as well as videos. In daylight, photos from the 12 megapixel main camera are excellent and on par with other flagship phones. Colors are accurate if not slightly blown out at times. Dynamic range is excellent and the photos have amazing detail even if you're pixel peeping. Daylight photos from the ultra-wide are just as punchy and vibrant with excellent color reproduction that's on par with the main shooter. If you look closely enough, you will notice some fringing on the edges, but that is quite common with Samsung's ultra-wide camera for a while now. Portrait shots are excellent. Samsung's edge detection is almost always on point. I say always because sometimes it could be hit or miss, but when it does hit, it hits hard. There is excellent subject separation in most cases, and the background blur is realistic and you can even adjust it further. In low light, photos from the main camera are decent but lack in detail. Toggling the night mode significantly improves the image quality, bringing light to those darker areas, improving sharpness, colors, and the overall picture quality. The ultra-wide lens tells the same story in dimmer lighting. When toggled on, night mode definitely makes the difference, even though it means holding your hand steady for a few extra seconds. Nighttime subject photos are quite soft, they lack detail and the punch you would get during the day, which is understandable. Night mode barely does anything to improve the picture quality, but it's still usable in most cases. 4K videos from the main camera is superb. It's buttery smooth, packs lots of details, and dynamic range is way above average. Colors are near perfect. Switching to ultra-wide produces near identical 4K footage. Colors may be slightly muted, but it's hard to notice. There doesn't seem to be any reduction in quality from the main camera, and dynamic range is once again excellent. Samsung Super Steady mode is on hand for those action shots, but it is capped at 1080p. Just something for you to think about. At night, 4K footage from the main camera is quite good, especially with enough lighting and in the right conditions. It's not as bad as some would make it out to be, but once again, lens flaring is an issue. This is particularly noticeable when using the ultra-wide camera. Though the overall video is good, there are some improvements Samsung definitely needs to make when coming to nighttime video and photography. Before I move on to the selfie camera, I took a selfie and a selfie video using the main camera at night using the cover display as a viewfinder. Let me know your thoughts on these. Now it's on to the 10 megapixel selfie shooter. In good light, this camera is excellent. The level of detail and subject separation in portrait photos are quite spectacular. In low light, the quality surely does take a hit, but I'm still loving the natural tones and colors. And portrait shots aren't too bad, even if they're slightly on the softer side. You can shoot up to 4K at 60 frames per second, and this does not disappoint. There's high dynamic range, excellent colors, and even selfie video audio is quite good. It is a solid performer.
There you have it. That is my review of the Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 4. Now the Z Flip 4 is a flagship phone in every way. It's reliable, powerful, has a great screen, good cameras, and a very unique design. Now the only question I might have is about battery life. But if you're not one to worry about carrying a charger or charging your phone maybe an extra 1 or 2 times per day, this should definitely be the phone for you. It'll definitely turn some heads, and it's even a great conversation starter if you're out with friends. If you have the Z Flip 4 or the Z Flip 3 or older, let me know in your comments what are your thoughts on foldable phones in 2022. Once again, special thanks to Phone Aid for sponsoring this video. If you're in Trinidad and Tobago, definitely check them out for all the latest and greatest tech repairs and all your tech needs. Thanks for watching my video and hope to see you on the next one. Don't forget to hit the bell icon so you never miss another video. Subscribe, hit the like button, and leave a comment below. Let's chat a bit. You can follow me via my social media platforms. Just check in the description. Till next one, I'm Stefan for 868 Tech TV. Be safe, everyone.